What's up, Victory Youth Crew leaders? Hey, Pastor Zach here, and I get the honor and privilege of being one of the youth pastors here at Victory Church. And today we're talking about a simple but very practical tool when leading our crews, and that is the 80-20 rule. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever been in a group and where you feel like you're doing all the talking, and I mean all the talking, and your students are just staring back at you? Maybe you've asked a question or two, but all you're getting is silence. Well, I want to encourage you by saying, hey, we have all been there. But there's a simple principle that we want to share with you today that could change the temperature of your group, and that's the 80-20 rule. And here's what that rule stands for, is that leaders talk 20% of the time and students talk 80% of the time. Here's why this matters so much. If students grow by hearing you talk or listening to you talk the whole time, they grow when they get to talk. And here's the big idea. They grow when they get to engage in the conversation. See, when they wrestle with Scripture, when they share their story, when they encourage one another. James chapter 1, verse 19 says, everyone should be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to become angry. See, that needs to be us as leaders, that we are quick to listen and slow to speak. Jesus even modeled this for us when talking to his disciples in Matthew chapter 16, verse 15. He asked his disciples, but what about you? Who do you say that I am? He didn't just give them the answer, he drew it out of them. So what does our 20% look like? How can we do this like Jesus did? Well, in Proverbs 20, verse 5, it says, the purposes of a person's heart are deep waters, but one who has insight draws them out. See, that's your role as a crew leader, to draw out what God has already put in their hearts, because God's already speaking to them and he's already moving in them. We need to get it out. So how do we do that? Well, first, I would ask thoughtful, open-ended questions. You don't really want questions that could end in a simple yes or no. You want answers that are full sentences. Second, don't rush silence. Give them space to think. And third, I would say invite quiet students who may not be engaging as much with a simple, hey, what do you think? And give them time to answer. And celebrate every answer. Remember, what you celebrate will get repeated. Here's what your 20% is not. It shouldn't be you trying to fill every silence. I know as leaders, sometimes silence can feel awkward and like we're failing, but we're not. We're giving them time to think and we're giving them time to engage and respond. We also don't want to give every answer. We want to help lead them to the answer. We don't want to just give them the answer. Also, turning a crew discussion into a sermon is not a win. That's why we only want to talk 20% of the time to give students space to think and ask questions. Victory Youth Crew leaders, less is more. We want you to guide the conversation. No need to dominate it. Now, with the 80% belongs to your students. They should be the ones sharing their thoughts, asking questions, and encouraging one another. When students engage more and talk more, they grow more. A few pitfalls to watch out for when you're preparing for your crew is, hey, maybe number one, you're talking too much. A great way to fix this is to prep a few questions beforehand, but not a 20-minute teaching. Pitfall number two could be students give one-word answers. A great fix for this is to follow up with, tell me more about that. Pitfall number three could be that silence feels awkward. A great fix and a discipline for you to have is, hey, count to 10 before you jump back in. Silence usually means that they're thinking. Use the power of silence as a weapon to get your students engaged and responsive. As we close out this time talking about the 80-20 rule, here's my challenge for you this week. Pay attention to your time in your crews. Are you talking 20% or closer to 80%? We're not looking for perfection, but we're looking for direction. And if you're over, man, stop, ask questions, and invite them to use their voices to engage in the conversation. Remember in Proverbs 20, verse 5, your job isn't to fill students up. It's to draw out what God's already doing in them. God's filling them. We want to draw what God's putting them out. The 80-20 rule works, and when students talk more, they grow more.